What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Total Turnbuckle Talk. And today, we again are reviewing and recapping Smackdown. That just happened. We are doing Friday Night Smackdown review and recap. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are approaching the holiday season. I'm feeling festive. I know the WWE is certainly feeling festive, and I'm excited for it. What's going on in the chat? What's going on, everyone? Put in the comments, guys, what you're asking Santa for this year. But yeah, I am very excited for the holidays. I'm sure you guys are as well. Make sure to have some fun with your families this holiday season. But without further ado, I say we just head straight into the Friday Night SmackDown review and recap. Before we start, I just want to say though, please like, subscribe, and turn on this post notification so you never, ever miss another banger of a live stream like this. We post, I post a bunch of wrestling news all the time regarding anything that usually happens. So if you don't want to miss out on it, go check it out. We also sometimes do live play-by-plays. Me and my partner, New York Yankee Mania, go also subscribe to him. We do play-by-plays. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it on this stream, but he will be joining us in future ones to do some SmackDown review and recap. Without further ado, let's just hop right into it. Okay. Friday Night SmackDown 2 hours ago kicked off, and they kicked off with Damian Priest coming out. He started and he said, "Thank you, John Cena," which I think we can all resonate with. Unfortunately, I am heavily disappointed by what happened with. Actually, no, hold on. You know what? Before we start talking about Friday Night SmackDown, let's talk about Saturday Night's main event. This past weekend. I don't even know if I'm ready to talk about it yet. It was a terrible moment. This might have been the worst booking decision Triple H has ever made. This was terrible. I mean, coming from someone that has supported Triple H's booking decisions in the past, this is not it. Come on, dude. Really? And there were so many people that spent so much money to be there and were so excited to see their childhood hero perform for the last time, and he taps out to Gunther. I mean, I was angry, and the WWE Universe was angry enough that Gunther was the final opponent, let alone you have John Cena, Mr. Never Give Up, Mr. Hustle, Loyalty, and Respect, tap out? What? That's just a wild, that's crazy. Why would you book it like that? That's so dumb. I think that's probably the worst decision Triple H has made so far with being, the main planner and writer for WWE. I mean, I don't even know how that got past the whole board of directors. But whatever, right? We're past it. I'm glad that John Cena is happy. As long as he's happy, I'm happy, right? But yeah, Damian Priest came out. He said, "Thank you, Cena," and then he got interrupted by Aleister Black and Zelina Vega, which put him through a table. Which put Damian Priest through a table. And here's the thing with this whole feud. I do want to kind of recognize that this feud is getting a little boring to me. That might just be me. But I don't know. It's a little. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. I think with these booking decisions that Triple H is making, he drags on feuds for a little too much time. Right? I mean, obviously, yeah, feuds that take time to build up are usually the most effective when it comes to long-term storytelling. But like, if you do it every single feud, especially with these kind of minor ones within the tag team division, it doesn't balance it out. These special moments turn into, just part of the regular show, and we start to have fewer and fewer special moments because we're making these booking decisions. But yeah, heels came out on top. I was a little surprised by that, but you know what? Whatever. Okay. Yeah, that's just how it kicked off. It was kind of a random start, honestly, but they put Damian Priest to a table. Oh well. Next match on the card was the Kabuki Warriors versus Lash Legend and Nia Jax, and Lash Legend and Nia Jax picked up the win on this one. I'm also not surprised at this one. Not surprised at all. I think what they're doing right now is they're really trying to build up Lash Legend and Nia Jax as being these, you know, these dominant, fierce competitors in the women's division. And not just in the women's division, but also in the women's tag team division, which I think needs some, definitely needs some TLC. I think I don't know. There a lot of the female tag teams right now. And it's no disrespect to the women at all. I mean, they're phenomenal performers, but right now, they are getting a little stale. That's just me personally. They are getting a little stale. I personally think that we need some more tag teams. And listen, I never liked Nia Jax. I never really particularly had an opinion towards Lash Legend. I kind of just like always knew that she was on NXT. But I'm glad that they are bringing up NXT superstars more often than I think Vince would. I'm glad they're bringing them up more often. They're giving them more light, definitely. And I think that's something that we need to do because NXT inevitably is the future of the WWE, right? They will take the spots of the people that are on top. A lot of the main roster talent right now that are main event superstars came from NXT, right? Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, just to name a couple, right? Roman Reigns, technically. But yeah, I think it's definitely, it's it's a tricky situation because although I'm not gonna particularly favor them because they're heels and I like to play into the kayfabe, but I'm glad that WWE is bringing up these new talent to show them to the world, put them onto a bigger stage because inevitably, and ultimately, that's what that's how they're gonna get better at their craft. That's how they're gonna perfect what they do. So I'm actually surprisingly in favor of this decision. You want to put this kind of talent over. Oh, so the next thing that happened, Cody Rhodes came out and he basically talked to the camera and he was like, "Yeah, so I raided Drew McIntyre's house." Which that did happen. If you saw on social media, that did happen. He did raid Drew McIntyre's house during a one-on-one interview with Nick Aldis. And he was like, "I'm gonna kill you, Drew McIntyre," or whatever. And yeah, they were and Nick Aldis came out to Cody and confronted him, and Nick was like, "Hey, like, you can't do that. You're not above the law. Like, I'm the law here, and as a friend, I'm telling you, you're not above the law." And then Cody says, "Or what?" And then Nick says, "Well, I'm going to have to take that championship off you. I'm going to have to relinquish you." And then Cody says, "Nick, as your friend, I'm telling you, I am not a fighter. I am not a worker. I don't work for you. I work for them." And he points to the people, and it's like this big heroic moment or whatever. And Cody Rhodes just kind of owned Nick Aldis verbally. I think, me personally, this is a sign of a heel turn for Cody. Now, that's going to sound a little bit crazy, right? Because obviously what he said, he's favoring the people, which is something that a heel doesn't do. Because, a classic heel is going to care and tend for themselves and only themselves. But I think this is a sign that Cody is now not a kiss up like he once was to management. He's becoming his own person. He's getting a bigger ego because he is quarterback one, he is QB1, he is the top dog around there because he has the most prestigious championship in the entire WWE right now. But yeah, I think this could be a sign that Cody Rhodes turns. I'm not saying like super duper soon, but I could see middle of next year Cody Rhodes turns heel. Mark my words, okay? maybe even WrestleMania next year. Mark my words, bro. Mark my words. I think Cody Rhodes is turning heel, and I think this promo kind of proves me right. Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes versus DIY, and Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes win this one. I'm actually glad they're doing this because I'm a big fan of Ilya Dragunov. I think that he's a fantastic star. He's very entertaining in the ring. He really does leave it all out there. You know, I don't know if you guys saw his match last week, but it was absolutely phenomenal. He put it all out there. Ilya was bleeding all over the mat, but he didn't call anything. He was just he's a true performer. You know, he's agile. He's really good. And very entertaining to watch. Usually, he usually tends to have the best and most entertaining match on the card, and that's just my opinion. But I think that he tends to have the most entertaining match on the card because, like, he's just flying through the air. He's crazy good, and I'm glad they had him win. He's young talent, very young talent. Definitely an underdog, 100%. Him and Sami Zayn both underdogs, you know, and Ilya took the championship off of Sami Zayn. Now he's the ultimate underdog, and I've always been a suck up for underdogs, you know. Sami Zayn, Ilya Dragunov, Zelina Vega, you know, Lyra Valkyria. I've always been a suck. I've always, you know, I've always kind of loved those stories. Rey Mysterio, you can't forget him. He was the ultimate underdog, 100%, right? But I think that I completely forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, I completely forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah. I am glad that they are telling these narratives of, you know, these underdogs and putting them on the grand stage. Sorry about that. And putting them on a grand stage and having them not only win gold but win some tag team division matches, and then that's great. And I think this is also burying DIY, and maybe this could put them on the bench for a little bit because DIY has been working for a while. They've been pretty much continuously at it from before SummerSlam all the way up until now. So, you know, because they had that whole feud with like the entire tag team division, and we were just like, what? And people were going through ladders and tables, and I was just like, what? They had some great feuds, but I think this could be a time where they kind of let DIY take a break. You know, that I think this could be the time they do that, and I think that this match could prove me right and kind of show how and kind of just kind of ease them into, you know, taking some personal days. You know, but yeah, I'm glad the Alien won because I'm always one for an underdog, and I think him and Carmelo Hayes are both phenomenal people from NXT. And then the main event of the night was the Wyatt Six versus the MFTs, and it was a disqualification because people just can't stop because the people on the sides just can't stop hurting each other, and then it just spills out, and the people inside the ring get mad, and they go outside, and then they all start fighting each other, and it's one big disqualification. Now, I've said this before in the past. I think that this type of ending to SmackDown is getting so stale. It really is. We've seen this happen before. I remember, you guys probably all remember this too. You know, these LA Night matches versus the Vision, right? After Saturday night's main event, you know, after that one Saturday night's main event where Seth Rollins was, you know, injured for SummerSlam. That whole thing, every ending of Raw was a disqualification because Braun Breaker just couldn't keep his hands to himself. And that, I think, combined with, you know, the new stuff that's happening now, has gotten me just ultimately tired of it, you know? I'm just kind of like, can we have a SmackDown where the main people just win and walk out? Like, it sounds like you know, it on paper it sounds not too exciting, but like I I don't know what to tell you guys, you know? Like if you keep doing these, if WWE and Triple H and TKO keep deciding if they want to, you know, have these, you know, have these type of endings, then you're gonna have to make them more spread out. You're gonna have to have them more spread out throughout pay-per-views and stuff because it is getting stale. And just like that, SmackDown is over. SmackDown's over. SmackDown's over. I went through the entire card. Thank you guys so much for watching. And yes, I am aware that you can't type anything in the chat. I just got an email from YouTube that they just disabled my comment section. And I'm like, disable my comment section for this live stream specifically. I'm like, okay. Sorry about that, guys. You could probably leave a comment afterwards or comment on my other videos if you wanted to say something regarding the live stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy this, please subscribe, turn on those post notifications, and like up this live stream. Turn on those post notifications so you never, ever miss another banger of a live stream just like this one. I post wrestling news all the time, so if you don't want to miss out, you should just subscribe. It's free, and you can always unsubscribe later. Until next time, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Peace.